Christine McDaniel here with the Health and Happiness Podcast, and we're here at Chateau, my wellness spa, and we're so excited to do this weekly wellness show to be able to give our message of health and wellness. I mean, I'm so fortunate I get to meet the most amazing people in the health and wellness and fitness industry, right? Just being in the wellness industry myself. So now I get to share those conversations with everybody else. So I'm here with Luke DuPron, and he will tell us all about his business. We're going to spend some time just, what motivates him, what drives him, what his purpose is, and how he helps people. And so let's hear it.
So my name's Luke DuPron. I'm a fitness coach here in San Diego, California. And I kind of wear two distinctly different hats in the way that I help people. So I do Biomechanics Optimization, which is a fancy way of saying I make people move better. So this would use means of corrective exercise, myofascial release, trying to activate specific muscle tissue. Generally, the idea would be to help people take the movement that they're doing, whether it's exercise in the gym, how they move throughout life, and improve those patterns. So there's a lot of people who are putting effort in the gym, and they're really not getting a lot out of it because they move so poorly. So that would be one avenue that I work within. So that's all in-person coaching. It's one-on-one. It's really specific. It might be to help eliminate back pain, deal with knee pain, or again, you just want to work out, be healthy and fit, and you want to make sure you maximize your time when you are exercising. That would be kind of fall into the realm of biomechanics optimization.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, and Eric, my roommate, was just raving about you. So he's seen you maybe 3 or 4 times already.
Yeah.
He already notices a difference on his stance, and just, some people might put more pressure and lean on one side of their body than the other.
Well, since you brought him up, we can talk about him.
Okay. Sorry, Eric.
Yeah, put him on blast. So in like a matter of, I think, 4 or 5 sessions with someone like Eric, he's a fairly fit guy. He'd even actually had a pretty amazing weight loss journey of his own. But getting in and working on him, he had some movement dysfunction, some postural dysfunction. So, toes are externally rotated, doesn't get hip extension through the glute, and it makes his exercise routines really ineffective and inefficient. So through just, 3 workouts of repatterning movement, some specific stretching, which I'm sure he's mentioned, feels like he's getting ripped apart, we can repattern and get what he's doing to work way better.
And you do this, are they on a table, or are they on the floor?
So it's generally going to be, we're going to go from table to the floor, like table to exercise. So it might be like a lot of test and retest. So like, here's how we do a split squat. Oftentimes, honestly, it's just getting someone, people haven't been taught how to properly exercise, and the hardest thing to get through someone's head is your body has this innate ability to find the path of least resistance. So you're really trying to resist this temptation to deviate into an improper pattern during exercise. And most people don't think that way. They just think about, okay, I'm just trying to do 10 lunges. I'm just going to go up and down 10 times. When really what you're trying to do is you're trying to maintain some specific postural positions while you go through that movement. Now, someone like Eric, he's got some, again, inefficiencies that actually will pull him out of that, some specifically tight tissues that would pull him out of those positions or his ability to maintain those positions. So for him, it might be we stretch psoas and quad on the table, and then we repattern a lunge, and he can feel his glute fire a little bit differently. And then by the end of it, he's the other day, he's like, this is crazy. He's like, my heart rate's up higher than when I grapple, and I've done like 12 bodyweight split squats. And it's because he's able to get more muscle tissue to actually fire. Does that make sense?
These sessions, no, it definitely makes sense. These sessions are how long usually?
45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's part stretch, it's part workout.
Yeah, and really the stretching is just to facilitate movement. So, people stretch, I don't think, with a lot of purpose when, what specific tissues do you need to stretch? If you're someone who works at a desk all day, you probably need to stretch pec if you sit like this. You probably need to get in some thoracic extension and open your hips up. So to me, mobility and stretching kind of exists to improve kind of where you're lacking, right? If you already have good hamstring mobility, you probably don't have to spend a lot of time stretching your hamstrings. So for someone like Eric or clients that I work with, it's about stretching tight tissue so we can go into a movement pattern and get better movement.
Cool.
And more muscle to turn on. So again, when you're working out, that's what I think people don't realize. The whole point of this, when you're at the gym, if you're doing squats or lunges, it's to turn muscle fiber on. And you want to turn as much of it on at every single repetition as possible. And most people, they aren't as in tune to that, and they're kind of just going through the motions, I don't want to say lackadaisically, like mentally, but their body, they're not getting it to turn on as much muscle fiber. So again, if you could do like Where if I were to toot my own horn, what I'm good at doing is taking someone and again getting that to fire better. So someone like Eric, all of a sudden by 8 split squats, he's just like, dude, I can't believe how high my heart rate is. And it's because he normally doesn't turn on that much muscle fiber. And all of a sudden more muscle fibers firing, you need more blood, you need more oxygen, everything starts pounding, and it's like, this is really hard even though you feel like you're not even doing anything.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, definitely. And if somebody's training for something specifically, would they come see you for a certain amount of time? Dialed in?
Yeah, so a lot of the work I do, again, like the reason I use the word optimization is I don't think anyone needs a trainer really for really a very long period at all. And we can talk about the motivation aspect, and that's kind of the other hat I wear, and the other kind of business work that I do. But most people don't need the trainer there. They just need to learn how to do it correctly. It's once you've been educated in your body, like neuromuscularly, you understand how to move and what to do, then you just got to go do it. And you don't need the trainer there every day. Now, there's people that want that because obviously, if you have the income, if you have the accountability, can someone push you harder than you can push yourself? Sure. I mean, most people, I'm going to be pushed harder by an external force, of course. But to get from a health and fitness standpoint, to get a good workout in, it's not as challenging as most people think. And you don't need to have the trainer there cracking the whip once you know how to really do a few just fundamental movements, because there's really not that many different exercises. There's like 5 patterns you need to learn, and every exercise falls within one of those patterns.
So then how many sessions is optimal to?
Obviously depending on your goals, but like to me, from a health and fitness standpoint, if you did resistance training, this is my general template that I use with people. If you did resistance training 2 to 3 times a week, dedicated like weightlifting, and again, we can go into a ton of specificity on what you should be doing in the gym. And then the rest of it should fall into more lifestyle stuff, daily movement. So like I don't have any clients who I recommend going to get on the treadmill. We live in California. Outside of today, it's like cloudy and gloomy. I love it right now. It's rainy. Why go get on the treadmill when there's 100 other things you would probably enjoy doing more? You could go play a pickup game of basketball. You could go surf. You could go hike, play with your kids, chase your dog around the park. I can think of a dozen things that would be just as beneficial and something you'd probably enjoy more than doing cardio. Yeah. So it's like one of the worst mistakes. Like, I'm going to go start running. It's like January 1st. I'm like, do you enjoy running? No, I hate it. Well, why would we even, like, what is the strategy here? So yeah, 2 to 3 resistance training workouts a week. Keep them around 45 minutes, make them full body. I want people to have to actually integrate their entire body, the 2 big drivers. I want the pelvis and the scapula to have to be integrated through movement. So exercises like deadlifts, single leg RDLs, split squats, push press, that integrates the whole body. And then just lots of daily movement, which that's hard. Daily movement is the hard part actually, because if you're strapped to a desk 8 hours a day, like you got to put some effort.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the hard part.
What's your background? Like, where did you study at?
So I got a kinesiology degree from Illinois State University. Became a certified personal trainer through some certifying company, which it takes nothing to become a certified personal trainer. You can do it in one book and take you about a month. But where I really cut my teeth, I was fortunate enough to I got to work in a chiropractic and physical therapy office here in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
So I come from a different side.
That's the background. I kept saying Eric. I'm like, oh, gosh, that's a lot like that perfect combo of physical therapy and chiropractic.
Yeah. So So I was fortunate enough to get a world-class and very unique level of mentorship under a chiropractor and also another guy who's a soft tissue specialist, but world-class. Soft tissue guy. So I got to work with a lot of people from high-level athletes to Olympic athletes all the way to, I'd work with somebody who was a car accident victim, and they'd come in, I'd come to get them, and they can barely stand up because they got hit in a car, they're doing 60 and they got T-boned. Yeah. So by getting somebody with that level of pain to be able to move correctly helped me develop a little different skill set than most trainers probably have, and an eye for proper movement, because you get somebody who has that level of pain and dysfunction, they move incorrectly, they pay for it. Yeah. And I've personally had injuries. I've compressed a disc in my back to where I couldn't walk for about 6 days. That led me to that rehab studio, which eventually then I got brought on as their strength and rehab specialist. So kind of a different. So I kind of come from like more of the corrective exercise side of it. But even for general fitness, it makes such a huge difference because through specificity, your exercise routines become way more efficient, effective, and you don't have to spend all day at the gym.
Yeah.
At all.
I love it.
That's
awesome. So let me ask you this, Luke. What drives you out of bed in the morning each day?
What drives me? Right
By a
now,
lot.
yeah. Right. Well, no, honestly, right now in the last year, it's just been, I guess, kind of personal growth, personal development across tons of different areas. For the longest time, I didn't enjoy learning. Like I look back at like college and, I got through school and I got good grades, but it wasn't something I enjoyed, where now I really enjoy the knowledge of things. So I have lots of little different drivers. I have the competitive side of, physical goals with myself, but then also the impact, the purpose, all of that's driving me. And again, to just kind of learn and grow. I mean, it's been a growth, there's been a lot of growth happening in the last year and a half, and that's been a big driving point for sure.
Oh, I love that. And then I'm a big reader, which most people already know. So I always like to ask, what is your number one favorite book of all time?
Oh man, I got it. You're gonna get this answer, I bet, a lot. I don't know that I can answer one. So I'll tell you the book I'll give two.
Okay, two's fine.
Two's fine, and only one because I'm listening to it now. So I'm actually listening to this on Audible. And I've been through it before, but Jack Canfield's Principles to Success.
Okay.
And I honestly like little books like that, or little books. It's like 12 hours of audio, but because if you're short on time, you put it on in the car, and it's like in 3 minutes you're getting something either actionable or you're kind of getting your thoughts shifted, and you don't have to sit down and dedicate an hour to trying to absorb this information. Just even on the drive over here, I actually had it going, cool. And in like 7 minutes you're like, okay, yeah, it's just reinforcing something that maybe you already know, something you already believe, but it's just lots of good positive feedback, just being like kind of tapped into you repetitively. On a more like substantial full book, I would say The War of Art, Prescott, I believe. Is it Stephen Prescott?
Oh, I think so. I haven't read it yet, but I keep hearing
it's really good. And it was relevant for me because I came up to, part of what I'm working on now is to take some of the accountability, and I won't go all the way into this, some of the Dharma. I do some Dharma coaching, some remote coaching that's more mindset, lifestyle related. And I'm kind of rolling that into some digital videos and an online program because, again, I want to have a bigger reach. But I had a lot of resistance, and it's taken me actually like over a year to figure out how can I really craft something that really can be usable when I come from a side that's so specific and so individual. And I really had to, again, when you read the book, it's really all I was coming up to was resistance. And to overcome those resistance that you're going to come into, no matter what you're trying to grow into, whether it's exercise, business, whatever, it's going to happen. So, yeah. So that's a good one. If you haven't read it, you got to read it. Definitely.
Oh, definitely. It's been on my list, actually. And so with people in our industry, in the wellness industry, we are notorious for promoting self-care. Mm-hmm. And then they always ask me, you already know where this is going. They always ask me, oh, Christine, you must get massages all the time. You must do the sauna at your spa all the time. And I'm like, okay, I think the shoemaker's kids have no shoes. I need to do more of that. I definitely, my thing is I'm actually really into running, long distance running, half marathons, marathons. That's my thing. Only outside, not the treadmill.
Definitely need to talk.
That's why I laughed when you were saying treadmill, because I would never, even when it was raining, I was switching my time of running just to get around the rain so that I wouldn't have to do treadmill.
Totally.
But so my next question is, what do you do for self-care?
That's a great one. So I'm fortunate in that a lot of the problems of I think today's society, in the sense of the desk is the big one. That's a huge problem for people. I don't deal with that. So I don't have to do necessarily full yoga classes to restore proper posture. I can just do a little bit of stretching, and I can mix it in throughout my day. I get to create my own schedule, so I can take care of the food. So I have a lot of the self-care is built into my lifestyle. But the one thing that I will do cognitively to correct myself when I'm getting off track, I have to get into nature. It's funny, in the last probably 3 weeks, I haven't really done anything dedicated where it's to go reset myself. So for me, that's usually going to be hiking. We have great trails out here. Mission Trails is, in 10 minutes, you can be up in I won't call it a mountain, we'll call it a small mountain, a hill, a foothill. But you can kind of feel 10 minutes from this pretty big city of San Diego, you can feel lost in the woods. And I'm from Illinois, where I'm used to nature and more open spaces. So that's an immediate recharge for me. And then the ocean. I absolutely love the ocean, and it is just, it's just a complete cleanse and recharge. So particularly during the summer when it's actually a little warmer. I mean, I'm probably in the ocean 3 days a week, and I'm not dragging beach towels down there. I literally walk in, I take my shirt off, leave it in my car, I walk 5 blocks, I jump in, I get my mind right for like 20 minutes, body surf, walk to the car. I mean, I'm there and out in 40 minutes. In between, work stuff, and that is a complete shift for me. So nature, but even go to a park or sitting out on my deck, like right now we have awesome weather here in San Diego. In my mind, it's rainy, it's gloomy, it's windy, it's something different, and just getting out and being around nature is the biggest way that I can do some self-care.
And then talking about the desk, backing up to the desk job, which majority of people are sitting at a desk all day long. I actually just finally got my standing desk set up. Finally. It's electronics.
You have
the electric one. I forget the name of it. It's super cool though. I literally finally just set it up this weekend. So what are your thoughts about using a standing desk?
Standing desk is great. What people don't, there was some statistic that came out that was saying that sitting is like the new smoking, and it's worse. And I don't really even know all about that, but what I can tell you is the mechanical ramifications of being strapped at a desk are huge. And I mean, not to go too dorked out here, but over tight hips, over tight pecs, shifted pelvises, lack of, like for you as a runner, you won't be able to run through your glute as well. And it posturally wrecks people, and it makes exercise really ineffective. So for people who are trying to lose weight, just get fit, it's like that bad posture created by the desk is very problematic. So stand-up desk is, I think, a great idea, and then rolling in some specific strength training.
Cool.
But people, you got to remember, like, this is what I think people don't realize. When I talk about daily movement, like getting out and being active, you have to realize that sitting at a desk for 8 hours is what's not normal.
No.
Right?
Cavemen weren't doing that.
Yeah, I mean, like 100 years ago, you weren't doing it, 200 years ago, whatever.
No, yeah.
So it is to get daily movement, and whether you're just going for a walk with your kids, taking the dog to the park and actually walking around the park while you throw the ball, your body has an innate expectation for movement. And what's not normal is being strapped at a desk for 8 hours, then commuting home, then sitting on the couch, then eating dinner, then doing some emails. And I'm even falling victim to it now as I'm doing more, I've been creating more content online, I'm editing more videos, and I'm spending more time at my computer, and I'm feeling the ramifications of it as well. So you got to get up, use the stand-up desks, Varidesk. I bet that's what you have.
Oh, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. So Varidesk, I have one from IKEA that's probably this long. It's a hand crank. It's like $140.
Do you alternate? Like how much time? Like I'm just
you don't want to stand all day either. Go ask anybody who works retail how they feel at the end of the day. So
like a 50-50?
Yeah. I always look at it this way. What can you do that mentally you can stand for, and what do you mentally have to sit down and just completely, the other day I was working on something and I just gave in. I just completely gave up into bad posture because my brain needed every little bit of willpower to do whatever I was doing.
Yeah.
And then there's other times if it's something that's more tedious, or more repetitive, like checking emails, like stand up desk. If you're talking, stand up.
Cool. The energy's better too, actually. That's another trick.
Yeah.
Any phone calls I'll typically do standing, I'll walk around my office just because your energy actually portrays through the phone when you're standing versus like sitting slumped over, like your energy's just down.
Have you seen Amy Cuddy's TED Talk?
No.
So Amy Cuddy has a TED Talk. So I use this. This is one of the things I use, again, when I'm doing postural work with people. Whether you're a speaker from stage or you do sales, really anything. So basically they found out 2 minutes of standing what they call power posing, which would be either like the Wonder Woman pose or basically like this. They found 2 minutes will raise your testosterone levels. It's like, I'm going to butcher the numbers here, but I think it's like 28%, which if you think of testosterone, it's like a powerful hormone. And then it would lower your cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone, by like 24%.
Whoa.
And they figured this out through, I think it was blind judoka players who, when they would win, they've been blind their entire life. What do they do when they're celebrating? They go here. Did this really intense, they call it power posing.
Yeah.
Versus what do you do if like your boss has been like reaming you and you messed up at work, you get kind of small and you're uncomfortable and you go here. And hormonally, this changes you. So if you sit all day at a desk here and then again you have that sales call to make, you're not showing up in your best potential to make a good impact. So there's some real science behind that.
Yeah, I like it.
I'll connect you to it. It's a cool video.
I love TED Talks. Those are the best.
Of course, yeah.
So what's your purpose in life? Your overall purpose in life?
Purpose, it's so funny. Purpose and vision, I've finally, I think, got it so clear in my mind. It's to inspire and empower thousands of people to transform not just their body, but their life through the power of health and fitness. I'm such a believer in, I know most people, and even clients that come and work with me, most people start exercise because they want a physical change, a physique goal. And you'll have that, of course, but what gets people, what allows people and keeps people continuing the process is how they feel. And it's really, really exciting to listen to someone who's kind of turned the corner, they've started to lose some weight, they're eating better, and they're just feeling really good. Try to explain how good life is to feel good, because they can't quite put words on it. But I think, everything in your life is impacted by being healthy and fit, period. All right?
Sure.
Everything. So if you don't have your health and some degree of fitness, I don't think you're living to your full potential, and I want to help people kind of discover and reignite that.
Cool. And then let everybody know what's the best way they can reach you.
Best way you can reach me is I'm across most social medias, but Facebook, Live Great Lifestyle. You can email me directly at livegreatlifestyle@gmail.com. And
is that your website too?
Yes, livegreatlifestyle.com will be the website. So you check me out there.
Okay.
And yeah.
I just want to acknowledge you, Luke. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I love
for
it.
being here and just sharing your wisdom.
Yeah, I appreciate
giving
it.
Those tips and tricks, and hopefully that's helpful for you guys.
Yeah, get a stand-up desk.
Yeah, I know, right? But even those tips of getting outside with nature, I love that. I think that all of us don't do it enough. And again, we live in San Diego, and we have all the opportunity in the world with the best weather.
Even if you're not, man, even if I grew up in the Midwest, there's something about on a day where it's sunny, even though it's cold, like get outside, get outside.
The sun is out.
If the sun happens to come out, even if there's snow, get outside, go for a walk, and you will enhance your day, I think.
Awesome. Well, thank you again.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.